Hey, so thinking now we could do some more melodic elements in this loop. So what I might start with is getting an arp in, and I'm going to use silent for this. When I do these videos, I usually use massive for everything, but it'd be nice to mix it up a bit here. And the reason that I'm going to use silent is because silent has a dedicated arpeggiator. Although you can create arpeggiated sequences in massive and use the step sequencer and pitch modulation, having a dedicated arpeggiator is actually quite useful in this instance, because what I'm going to do here is initialize this preset in silent, turn on the arpeggiator, and it starts arpeggiating, and take the time up to say 1/16 basically, so it's a bit faster. And the great thing about having an arpeggiator, a dedicated arpeggiator in this instance, is I'm not gonna, normally I might go and program a little pattern and start transposing some of these notes, but just with the mode set to up and nothing else really changed other than the time, if I play a key or a chord, sorry, and if we remember the key we're in is A minor, so if I hold A and go C, which is 3 semitones up from A, and maybe D, which is 5 semitones up, I get a little bit of a kind of hook or a riff. If I add in another note, and let's just play that with the bass. So it's in key. We can add notes or take away notes. And as long as we hold down notes that are in the key of A minor, it's going to play back a sequence that is in the same key as that bass sound and the rest of the track. So there's actually one thing I wanted to mention, was that we're using the key of A minor, we're working in the key of A minor. What I've done with this kick drum is I've tuned it down. Remember, it was a B flat. I've actually tuned it down by 1 semitone, so now it's in the key of the track. It's playing back an A note. So if we go back to this ARP sound here, what we could do is just put a little sustained chord in here and just have, say, drag this out. So 4 bars long, and that's an A, and that's an A sharp. Okay, an A, and maybe have a B as well. E, F, and maybe down here have a C as well. Here, that's quite a nice little hook. It's a very basic sound, but quite a nice little hook. So now let's go program this sound a little bit, get it a bit more interesting. Take the oscillator up by 2 octaves, add a few voices, take the retrigger off for a nice sort of analogy sound, push up a bit of detune. Release up a bit. Let's add in another oscillator here, take the voices up to 1. I've got a square wave here. Get the volume at 0, and let's activate some sound in this part B as well. So add in another oscillator, sawtooth 2 octaves up. Maybe keep this on retrig this time, detune it a bit, volume down. Let's like detune the pitch of these oscillators a bit as well. A nice chorusy sound. Maybe even a bit of noise in here. Take the volume right down. Nice sort of analog feel. Maybe a bit too much detune. And now let's add some filters. Low pass. And just have the same filter. Copy and paste that filter from part A to part B. And now let's have some envelope modulation. So I'm going to select this envelope here, go to cutoff A and B, and I'll push the amount up. So now both filters are being, or the cutoff of both filters is being modulated by this envelope, and have the classic envelope modulation. Maybe a bit of chorus. Some delay. Reverb. Let's play that back now. Got quite a cool ARP sequence. And the great thing about that is we can just change the chord that we're playing back. As long as we're playing notes in a key of A minor. We can just keep changing that throughout the track. Just for some nice variations on that sequence. Okay, so what I want to do now is just get a bit of a vocal sample in here. So I've got this vocal loops folder. So I'm just going to listen to some of these. Maybe something with a female sound. That's quite nice. Drag this in here. I'm going to have to flex this very quickly. And it's done it as slicing. I don't want slicing. We'll do polyphonic. And if I can just drag the left corner so it loops over 4 bars, it's actually put it in time now. And one thing we want to look at here is getting this in key. So it says vocal loop G, so it's in the key of G. And actually we can change the flex mode here, go to flex pitch. You notice the image there on this region changed. And now it's looked at the notes of all these vocal sounds. So G, I know G is 2 semitones down from A, so that's actually going to be in key. But what we could maybe do is highlight all of these and well, deselect them, select scale quantize, go A minor, and then highlight all of these and go quantize. And it's moved all of the notes that weren't in the key of A minor before, it's moved them to A minors now. So we know that it's in key. Close up the flex. And I might actually just edit this. I like the vocal sound at the start there, but I don't like this sort of quite grainy sort of sample. That might get rid of that. Get rid of this as well. And let's maybe add, might sound a bit more natural with some delay. So FabFilter Timeless. Kind of brings it to life a bit. And maybe this, we could actually just duplicate this channel up and this sound. Put this on a different channel and maybe just change the delay on this. Have as a different delay time to the other vocal sample. Push the feedback up. Sound a bit better, faster. Quite nice. The great thing about these vocals using FabFilter Timeless or something with delay freeze, if I hit this button here is a delay freeze, it just freezes that delay. Start filtering it. Just a great way of just adding a little bit of delay sort of texture to something. So a couple of melodic sounds in there now. Let's actually look in the next video and get some pads in here and maybe start thinking about a breakdown section. All right, cheers.